Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another day of spoilers. So there's some pretty cool, interesting spoilers going on here that looks like pretty much all Scheherazade support. So it's sort of green, green, black type of things. So we'll go ahead and go right into it. So first up we have Rune's Story. So this is I really like, I'm digging the art for this. The art style for this and the next card is really cool looking. But it's a 2-cost green, black, quick cast chant. With this story subtype. You get to choose one of the following abilities, and there's quite a few. So either your opponent banishes a resonator, or flip over 2 revealed stories in your extra deck, which is something we had talked about before, or put target resonator from your graveyard into your hand, or cancel target spell unless your opponent pays 1 void. So this is really cool. It basically gives you a whole lot of options here, depending on what situation you are in the game, what point you are in the game, late game, mid game, early game. It applies to everything essentially. You can, in a pinch, maybe you're saving it for your next beginning of turn so that you can grab a resonator from your graveyard. However, since you have those stones up already, if your opponent plays something big with all their stones tapped, so you can cancel it, you also have that as a side thing you can do. Having your opponent banish a resonator is always a really great ability in my opinion. It's cool that we're seeing that again. We hadn't seen that for a long time, and all of a sudden we're seeing it in just whole bunches now. So yeah, I think this is a great card. I like stuff that gives you a lot of different options, and it's not, I personally don't think it feels too really strong. It just has a lot of options, so it adds to the versatility. Next we have Speaking Stone. So this is a special magic stone with barrier, and it produces green, and it can also produce black, but you can only spend the black to play story chants. The barrier is interesting because we don't, we have obviously the Mosasaurus, and we used to have Hook, so this was probably designed when Hook was around. So that's cool that it has a barrier against those, but it also makes me think that there might be some other cards coming in the future that might affect magic stones or special magic stones, so this is preemptively helping against that, because I don't think barrier is that big of a deal in a format with Mosasaurus and maybe Hook. Maybe it was, and maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I feel like we might be seeing something else because of that. Next we have Enormous Effigy. So this is a 5-cost 13/13 doll, and when a resonator deals damage to this card, destroy that resonator. So this is pretty interesting. First thing that comes to mind is it helps counter, not necessarily counter, but it helps us deal with the mega whatever fish from yesterday's spoilers with inside of a blue deck, because whenever it attacks, I believe it deals damage to the whole board, 200 damage or something like that. And so this, whenever they attack with that resonator, suddenly it's dead because it'll deal damage to this card and die. That's the only effect this has, so I don't think it's that great outside of that, especially for 5 costs, although I'm sure there's ways, because it's a doll and working with Scheherazade, there's ways to cheat it out, possibly, and different things like that. So I'm curious about that. Last one, alright, I'm mad about this one. Disasterous Asura Palace. It's a 3-cost quick cast chant story. Destroy target light resonator. Your opponent banishes a gem. So we got our first instance of getting rid of gems. Your opponent able to get rid of gems. And it's able to destroy a light resonator, which obviously works with a multitude of things, but feels kind of a little bit racist against pandas. Not going to lie. I guess we really had to put those pandas in check. They were getting out of control. I'm pretty mad about this. Freaking pandas. I love my pandas. They're not doing no harm to nobody. This is freaking dumb. So, yeah, that's a thing. So, pretty interesting. It's something we had mentioned, I think, last time on spoilers, that the story chants are going to have sort of specific cards that counter each of the type of decks. So we had Mermaid counter, and now we have freaking Panda counter. And so we'll probably get something to do with maybe strength counters or something against Keurig in general. Which will be interesting, and other variations. I don't know if it'll just be the starter deck rulers or if it expand to the normal rulers, how many of these story chants we will get, or if we'll just start with a couple and they'll keep getting story chants with each new set. But pretty interesting overall. I like these cards. Nothing too crazy over the top, but just nice little steady stream of things. It's a lot less disheartening as the last screen spoiler, so I'll take that. But yeah, so that'll do it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow night with Joey.